The Wheel of Time, Episode 8, Recap, The Eye of the World. 3,000 years ago, the previous incarnation of the dragon, Luz Theron Telamon, argues with his friend Latra Posé de Sume in an ancient language called the Old Tongue. They discuss his plan to attempt to cage the Dark One. A futuristic-looking city is revealed, which is the same cityscape from the pilot episode. Flash forward to the present, Rand and Moiraine are making their way through the corrupted Blight towards the Eye of the World, where they intend to face the Dark One and hopefully reseal him in his prison. We learn that the fiery-eyed specter that has been haunting Rand's and the others' dreams is the Dark One, but he looks like a man. The Dark One calls Rand by his past name and seems to know more about Rand and his past than even Rand does. The man tells Rand that he doesn't stand a chance against him, just like 3,000 years ago. Rand recognizes that he's dreaming and stabs himself to wake up. Moiraine gives Rand a special statuette called a Sa-Angreal, which she says contains the power of thousands of men. Moiraine tells Rand that when the time comes, the One Power will come to him, and that with the help of the Sa-Angreal, he'll know what to do to reseal the Dark One's prison. Back at Faldara, Nynaeve gives Lan some tracking tips, and he leaves to the Blight to go and find Rand and Moiraine. Lord Agomar and Amalisa prepare for what they assume is the last battle. 20,000 Trollocs and Fades burst from the Blight and begin their assault at Tarwin's Gap. The men and soldiers of the city go to a smaller wall-like fortress to the north in the Gap to try to stop the onslaught. Amalisa gathers all of the women in the city who can channel, including Egwene and Nynaeve, and they wait outside of the walls while the remaining citizens, including Min, escape the city to the south. Perrin broods, and Loial tries to calm him down. Some of the remaining soldiers start to break the stone floor under the throne in Faldara to try and remove an ancient relic called the Horn of Valir. Padam Fain and two Fades enter the city, steal the horn, and leave Loial severely wounded by the corrupted dagger from Shadar Logoth that we previously saw with Mat. Padam Fain explains to Perrin that this is just the beginning, and that he, Mat, Rand, Nynaeve, and Egwene are all five Ta'Viren, focal points of the pattern that still have an important part to play. Padam Fain claims that balance is necessary, and that some or all of them will turn to the dark before the end. We see a brief flash of Mat looking sicker than ever, walking through the dark streets of Tar Valon. Rand and Moiraine find the Eye of the World, and Rand remembers facing the Dark One there in his past life. Rand is pulled into a fantasy-like dream where he and Egwene are happily married in the Two Rivers with a daughter named Joya. The Dark One says that Rand has the power to make this dream into a reality. Meanwhile, back at the Eye, Moiraine is also visited by the man, and he does something to her that looks like he either shielded her from the One Power, which is like a temporary block, or he possibly stilled her, which is much more severe and permanently severs her access to the One Power, just like when Logain was gentled. Moiraine threatens to kill Rand rather than allowing the Dark One to influence him, but the man tells her that Rand is channeling and that she doesn't even know if Rand's going to break the Dark One's chains or strengthen them. In the dream, Rand realizes that while it might be his fantasy, it's not in line with what Egwene would want, and so he uses the Sa-Angreal to channel all of the One Power that he can at the man. Rand blasts the man with the One Power, which cracks the seal on the ground. Just as the man disappears, he smiles, as if he had been manipulating Rand to do this the entire time. Did Rand just free the Dark One fully from his prison? Back in Faldara, Egwene and Nynaeve link with Amalisa. Amalisa is so overwhelmed by the amount of the One Power that she's able to channel that after she destroys the Trolloc army, she can't stop drawing in more of the One Power, and she eventually burns herself and the majority of the other women out, killing themselves in the process. Egwene manages to bring Nynaeve back from the brink of death and heals her from her burnout wounds. Back at the Eye, Rand asks Moiraine to tell his friends that he's dead. Moiraine says that she cannot lie, but Rand is sure she'll find a way to tell them. Rand leaves. Lan shows up and he and Moiraine discuss the seal on the ground and how it shouldn't have been able to crack like it did because it's made of Quendiar, or Heartstone, which is supposedly unbreakable, even with the One Power. Moiraine realizes this wasn't the last battle, it was the first. In an epilogue scene way out to the west of the continent, we see strange ships with oddly dressed people who appear to be able to channel the One Power. They cause a massive wave to build up because apparently they really hate this one girl on the beach. If you want to learn way more about what's actually going on in these episodes, be sure to check out my in-depth episode breakdowns and other detailed videos about the lore and history of the Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. Thanks for watching.